look in the mirror, man, you're so dirty. Yeah, you look so dirty. You were never worthy. Lately, it's you.
Welcome to the Jeremy Hill Show. If you're easily triggered, leave now because this is not the show for you. Now, what I'm going to do for you today, ladies and gentlemen, as a topic of discussion, I'm going to talk about, excuse me, how modern women, black women in particular, run men off. I'm going to show you clips and examples of why certain men say that this particular group of women are not worth their time and efforts when it comes to dating or trying to get serious with them. So we're going to go ahead and play it. I'm going to show you some facts, data, and statistics, and also I will be discussing cognitive distortion. Because a lot of our women, especially in the black community, in my most humble opinion, they suffer from cognitive distortion, which makes it extremely difficult for them to be functional in a relationship with a man. So we're going to get to that in a minute. Let me go ahead and play this clip first. We're going to get into this, Jack. Let's go to work. Let's get it.
Tell a man that you don't need him to help you raise your kids, you're going to run him away.
Excuse me. Got to back it up. There we go.
Hey, quick tips for the ladies today. So, if you are the lady who keeps saying that you can't find a good man, it's probably your fault. Now, I know that sounds crazy coming from a woman, but it's the truth. Men say it all the time. Now, I'm saying it as a woman. The truth is there are a lot of good men out there, and you probably met one, but you ran them off. So, here's the thing. You can't get a good man and keep a good man if you're always telling him that you don't need his help. Men need to feel needed. If you tell a man that you don't need him financially because you have your own money, you're going to run him away. If you tell a man that you don't need him to help you raise your kids, you're going to run him away. If you tell a man that you only need him for sex, definitely going to run him away. Now, this is the one that most women are guilty of and don't even know it. If you disrespect a man and belittle him, you just ran him off. Okay?
Exactly. If a man, a real man, not a simp, not a sucker, not a pookie, rary, or nook, because pookies, they put up with disrespect for their women. Why? Because they need them for a place to stay. I'm talking about men who got their own things. I'm not talking about them suckers who say, hey, baby, I'll send you a whole lot of money to fly you out to my city because I want to clap those cheeks, and I'll give you $25,000 or $3,000 to get the ticket. And when you get here, I give you another $10,000 to let me clap the cheeks. I'm not talking about those weakling, piss poor examples of a man. I'm talking about real men. You cannot disrespect a man. A real man understands his worth and his value. And as soon as you step out of your femininity and try to become masculine with a real man, that masculinity that is within that man is going to reject you, repel you, might cuss your ass out before they go out the door. Let's keep going.
You cannot blast a man in front of his family, in front of his friends, on social media, and then come back and think that everything is supposed to be okay, because it's not. So, if you possess one or all of these characteristics, you'll probably be alone for the rest of your life, except for that man who will come back for sex.
She told you the truth. They'll just hit it and move around. They'll hit him and move around. You know how people say, like, buy a cat and die alone? I think y'all forget that animals can sense danger and evil and wickedness. You ever seen a dog and the dog don't know you? You don't know the dog, or you had a dog and the dog don't know the person walking down the street, and the person down the street don't know the dog, but that dog starts going, arr, arr, I can't stand this motherfucker. That's because dogs and animals can pick up on evil, stubbornness, wickedness. So most of those people who get in these cats and quote unquote dying alone, those cats and them dogs can't wait for them to kick the bucket. They're like, man, get the hell out of here. I'll bury you in my kitty litter. Anyway, let me go ahead and put another one up here. Now we're going to cover cognitive distortion. This is very important. I have a lot of facts I'm going to put up about this topic right here. But let's get this first.
What are the most repeated things that you have to teach in your practice that Black women suffer from?
Baby, cognitive distortions. Cognitive distortions are those things that I say we filter it through those stained glass windows. You know what I'm saying? But really is we filter it through our experiences that we've had. A lot of us as Black women, and I'm going to say it because I'm one of us, we have been told ourselves the whole story in our head and put the feelings together about the story that we done told ourselves. And then we going to treat the people the way we treat them based off of what we done told ourselves. And we is...
In other words, women create scenarios. They create their own world where the men are the villain. We're going to talk about the men today. So they see every man, they say every man is a dog, every man is no good, every man wants them just for their bodies. These men can't do nothing for me. They create the character of a man whom they have never met before in their own mind. They created this person in their mind. So when they deal with that man, they judge that man by what they have told themselves about all men and apply what they believe on that man. Cognitive distortion, a distortion of reality. They create things. Now, this can go two different ways. It can be where all men are dogs in a bad way, or they can take a Pookie, Ray Ray, or Nook Nook and then create a perfect world in their mind with Pookie, Ray Ray, and Nook Nook. Yeah, he's not on his feet, but I know when I help him get on his feet, he gonna appreciate that. And then here it is, Pookie out there having sleeping around with other people, getting STDs and pregnant. I know he gave me an STD, but it was my fault. And if I love him some more, he gonna change his ways. Cognitive distortion. Creating realities that are fictional, that has absolutely no roots in anything factual or realistic. You are creating people's character. This is one of the biggest issues in the neighborhood of Black folks, in my opinion. You think that you got a man that you're dealing with who got 7 baby mamas already, and then she thinks that when she get with him, that he won't make her just the 8th baby mama, that he's going to wife her. Cognitive distortion, delusion. Let's call it delusional. That's all that is. Cognitive distortion is another way of saying that these hoes are delusional. Delulu. Now, I'm going to put some facts up in a minute, but I want to let her go ahead and do it. I thought it was a very, what would you say, a psychological, clinical explanation for it, but that's what it is. That's what you see a lot in these women, is that right there. Let's keep going.
We done told ourselves, and we is dead ass wrong. Like, it's just being 100. That all or nothing thinking, you know, that's another cognitive distortion. So just being able to teach us as women to be in the present. You know, we got a skill called reset, which is remember every situation, encourages thought. And that is helping individuals understand, am I in the present or am I in the past or am I worried about the future? Because that's the thing, you know, we, especially us as Black women, we so busy going, we so busy doing, we so busy making it happen that we really don't even take the time to be present until it's in the past. Think about it.
Wow.
And that's not fair. And so that's one major thing is teaching us as women, especially Black women, I need you to be present in the presence of what's happening with you. This ain't that. And just because you had this experience there, it doesn't mean that that's the same experience that you're going to have here.
Exactly. So their past experiences helps to further create this imaginary world within their own heads of how a person is going to treat them. So they take their past experiences and said that it's going to always be like that. Very polarizing. Too extreme. But let me go ahead and give you the information about this. Hold on one second, y'all. Got to put on the screen for y'all people out there. We're going to break this down together. Let's see if I got it on the screen. One moment, y'all. I'm trying to get on the screen for y'all to read as well. I'm going to turn the music up a little bit. Okay, let's get it. Now, let's discuss cognitive distortion. What is it? A cognitive distortion is an exaggerated or irrational thought pattern involved in the onset or perpetuation of psychopathological states, such as depression and anxiety. Now, go back now. It's an exaggerated or irrational thought. Our women are thinking irrationally. We know they don't have a rational thought most times. They create scenarios in their minds. They create what they call standards, which are in actuality demands. A standard and demand is different. I demand my man has a 6-pack. I demand my man makes over 6 figures a year. I demand my man drives a Lamborghini. Those are not standards. Those are demands. Okay? Your standards is, I believe I should be treated like this. I should be respected like this. It's your personal principles that govern your lifestyle, that keeps you in a certain type of mindset that defines your personal character, because your character is defined by your principles and your standards, not by your demands. You get what I'm saying? So let's keep going. All right. Continue on. It says cognitive distortions are thoughts that cause individuals to perceive reality inaccurately. So like I said before, you're creating scenarios in a world in your mind that does not exist in real time. Now, here's some examples of that, right? Cognitive distortions, fluency examples. Now, one of the examples of that is disqualifying the positive, regarding positive events as a fluke. Let me break that down. If she gets a good man and he does everything right, she's gonna disqualify it. In what way? She's already gonna have her walls up. She's already gonna be expecting the good man to do something wrong, so she can say, I knew it, I told you, all men are dogs, all men are horrible, they're not to be trusted. So even when the man is being positive and walking in positive energy, she's already thinking something negative is going to happen. She's going to always disqualify his accomplishments, his goals, his ideals, and his efforts, as if, all right, you did this for me, but that's what you're supposed to do for me. Yes, you did these things. You bought this for me. You took me here, but that's what you're supposed to do for me. Disqualifying the efforts. Now, next part, it says, jumping to conclusions. Mind reading. Someone guesses what someone else is thinking. Jumping to conclusions. Automatically, because he don't pick up the phone as quickly as you think he should, he must be cheating. All of a sudden, he doesn't text you back as soon as you think he should. You jump to the conclusion that he's cheating. If he sits down and he be quiet, he must be thinking about another woman, which brings you to the mind reading. Cognitive distortions, creating scenarios in your own mind. You are your own worst enemy. The other part says, someone thinks that a negative consequence is inevitable. Like I told you before in the beginning of this, what I'm showing you. Even if you are positive, even if you are being a good dude, even if you are checking off every box of what you're supposed to be doing, when you're dealing with a woman like this, she's already thinking that something negative is going to happen. She's already expecting the relationship to fail. Most women enter into relationships with their guards up, with their swords drawn and their shields raised, because they already think that something bad is going to happen. And when you think that something bad is going to happen, it's going to influence your attitude and your appreciation of the man that you with, because you would never give him 100% of you. You would never give him a fair shot, because you're already thinking he's going to do you wrong. Okay? And we are dealing with that in the community. Now, the most common cognitive distortion or distorted thoughts include filtering. When you filter everything through your personal experiences, because majority of us are nothing more but the sum total of our choices. Now, when you deal with a good man, you're filtering him through all the Pookies and the Ray Rays and the Nook Nooks and all the men who have betrayed you, all the men that have disappointed these women. So again, the man never gets a fair shot. Okay? Bad boys get women in their prime, when they are at their best most times. Good men get women after they've been destroyed by the bad boys. After the bad boys have given them trauma bonds, extra kids, incurable STDs, insecurities, and jealousies, that's when most men who are good, decent men get these women. Also, they get them when they are overweight and they're looking older. The women who are young, who don't have all these trauma bonds and all those other things I just mentioned that was negative, they waste their prime years on those dudes. So now when they get with a good guy, they filter everything through the experiences of being with Pookie, Ray Ray, and Nook Nook. Now let's go to the next point, all right? Polarization. When they are polarizing something, they have thought processes, opinions, beliefs, and these are extreme beliefs. Hot and cold, wet and dry, extremes. For example, when men say we want women to act like a feminine lady, they go to the extreme of saying you want a slave. You want a woman to be in bondage. You want a woman to be underneath your thumb. That is extreme. That's not something in between. That's an extreme polarization of that ideology that most men tend to have, mostly men who are traditional. And also, when it goes the other way, women believe that men should be providers, not just providers, but to be suckers, that they're supposed to be taking care of these type of women, no matter what the circumstance. And if you don't do it, you're a loser, you're a lame, you're a sucker. Another polarizing ideal about how men should be. Overgeneralization is the next thing on this list, right? This is when they say all men are dogs, all men are deadbeat daddies. They overgeneralize. They don't never take into account that there's only a small percentage of men who don't take care of their children. They never take into account that they only sleep with the same amount of percentage of the same amount of men that they don't take into account that they are sleeping with the same men. Meaning you're sleeping with that subsect or that subculture of men in the black community that ain't worth doo-doo. So because of your personal experiences, go back to you filtering stuff, you think all men are like that, which leads to a polarization of your opinion, would lead to overgeneralization that all men are dogs. That's your fault. Now, I already talked about the discounting the positive and jumping to conclusions a while ago, right? So, now let me explain polarization again, a little bit deeper. What is polarization in simple terms? It's a division into two sharply distinct opposites, especially a state in which the opinions, beliefs, or interests of a group or society no longer range along a continuum, but become concentrated at opposing extremes, such as political polarization. It's saying something is good, something is bad, something is terrible, something is great. He's a simp, he's a man. She's a hoe, she's a lady. It's always going to be something extreme. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so I hope y'all learned something today. Let me go ahead and end this. And I'll talk to y'all a little bit later. You let me know what you think about this in the comments, man. I think it was kind of interesting. I hope y'all enjoyed it. You know how the gentleman who has gone rogue do. Talk to you later now.
Girl, look at you.